Let's go watch it in 2D. No, let's go watch it in 3D. But if we watch it in 3D, then is it worth the cost?
When our world is threatened,
none of our agents can get close to him.
a new kind of hero
Here we go.
takes flight.
It worked.
I can see my butt and your face at the same time.
This Christmas,
Being a pigeon can make you an even better spy.
time to fly.
Nope. Have some dignity. Why am I eating food off the ground? Why does it taste amazing?
Spies in Disguise.
Science rock.
Hello, hello, hello. This is Adolf. I have with me Jake.
Howdy, folks.
And today we're doing a 3D movie review. As always, on 3dr2d.com, we'll talk about the 3D element first. Now, I did not watch this movie. I'm here just to help guide the conversation. So, Jake, how was the 3D in Spies in Disguise?
Oh, it was really nice. Quite dazzling. Blue Sky is really up to their game. This felt like I was watching like a DreamWorks movie. They had the textures down, the 3D elements. I mean, this was dazzling. The fight scenes, great pop-outs, great angles. They had different weather effects, like, lots of snow, and the feathers on the pigeons were rendered beautifully. One of my favorite little things they did is with Tom Holland's voiced character, Walter Beckett. He had a really big nose, and they just had all sorts of pop-outs with it, getting him into doing rubber face slapstick, and that nose would be just popping out here and there. 3D in this was great.
All right, so that's your final verdict. Great 3D?
Yep, exactly. Yeah, great.
Now on to the movie itself. So, to put it bluntly, we were not looking forward to this movie for a very long time this year. The early trailers did nothing to make us excited or interested, but you can never judge a movie by its teaser trailers. So, how did you actually like Spies in Disguise?
It was actually pretty good. It takes a while to get going. They really leisurely set it up, and it just looks like it's going to be a by-the-numbers slapstick tropes. James Bond meets Stop That Pigeon by way of The Incredibles. So it just sets things up, and then all of a sudden you have a twist that was actually made this a whole lot more interesting. I'm trying not to spoil things here, but this is not your by-the-numbers spy movie. There's a little more going on under the surface. But the chemistry between Will Smith and Tom Holland is incredible. I mean, even though they didn't really set this up for a sequel, I hope there is one, because these are very interesting characters. Reba McEntire is their boss. She was a hoot. Karen Gillan as one of the agents who are going after Lance Sterling. She was a hoot, and she over-exaggerates her Scottish bra. So it was just awesome. But it takes a while to get going.
Now, this movie's been delayed a few times, and it's a few different publishers or directors. It's a little bit weird, right?
Yeah, it has two directors. But this movie, other than having a slow start, I mean, this delivers the goods. It's laugh out loud funny. I mean, some of the humor's a little on the cheeky, dirty side. Little kids aren't gonna understand it. A little older are gonna snicker. The humor is like what you see on broadcast TV. Like something like Modern Family or some ABC Family sitcom.
So it's silly enough that the kids will like it, but has enough adult stuff that adults will enjoy it too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they got some clever stuff going on. And they've got some kind of what I call a crude humor. and they take some tropes and turn them on their heads that are funny, and some stuff, like I said, I'm trying not to spoil stuff, because some of the stuff, if you know about it beforehand, it's going to have zero impact, but some of the jokes they just set up, and if you know about them, it just ruins the fun.
So there's some stuff about espionage and foreign policy and...
Oh yes, the whole subtext here about this movie is it has some sly things to say about the whole dark state of espionage, and it's not really directed at one particular country, because some of this stuff that has happened across the world. It's not just like they're not bashing America, in other words. Even some of the stuff could, if you've got a limited news view, you only watch one network, you might think that, but nah, they reference stuff that's happened across the world since World War II, a little bit. It just says some sly things, that there's other ways to do things than the way that are typically done.
Okay, so is this something that it's not too violent for little ones or anything?
Nah, it's not too scary. It's what the kids say, spoopy. It's more fun than scary.
Now, the whole pigeon element, is that annoying or weird, or is it just part of the movie?
Oh, it's hysterical. I guess this isn't a spoiler, even though it's not in any of the trailers, but when Will Smith is turned into a pigeon, he, of course, has encounters with other pigeons.
Okay, and you can use your imagination to take that forward. Okay, sounds like you really like it.
Yeah, it was surprisingly better than I thought it was going to be.
So it's like a James Bond kind of thing?
Yeah, James Bond meets a Stop That Pigeon. It's Dick Dastardly and all that. It was a cute TV cartoon from the 60s and 70s. When the movie finds its groove, its pace, reminded me a lot of the first Incredibles movie.
All right, so what's your final grade for the movie itself?
7 out of 10.
All right, sounds great. Sounds like a really fun movie and way better than we were expecting it to be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just be prepared for a slow burn at start, but then when it catches fire, it moves.
All right, that's it from us. Okay, before this podcast wraps up, I want to thank my patrons. Thank you, David and Mr. Bengal5, for your financial support on patreon.com. So that's going to be it for this podcast. You can find us, 3D or2D.com, on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, and so much more. Just look for 3D or 2D. You can also send us your listener mail. Our email address is email3dortd@gmail.com. Links are in the description. Thank you for listening and or watching. Bye!
Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye, everyone.